time. Paul Farahvar here, your host. We are back. This week we have comedian Azhar Usman. Make sure you follow him. Check out his projects online. He is amazing. He's hilarious. This is a fun episode. Sorry we were on break for a while, but I've been running like crazy doing a bunch of projects. Appreciate meeting all of you guys on the road. If you're listening to it, go over and watch it on the YouTube channel, please. I'm trying to get my YouTube numbers back up. Also, I have a new show called Stuck with Paul, where I interview my friends, celebrities, comedians in an elevator. You can't get that online anywhere other than on my YouTube channel for now. You can't listen to it because you have to watch it. It's a visual show. Check it out on my podcast channel on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Paul F Comedy. I'll be on the road. I'll be with Gary Gulman on March 15th at the Capitol Theater in Clearwater. Then I'll be headlining on March 20th and 21st at the Clearwater Comedy Club. My first time there. I'm excited. So if you know people in or near the Clearwater area, make sure you check that out. I'll be on the road with Jason Salmon, my friend, on March 26th at the Milwaukee Improv, and then at the Comedy Cabin in Janesville, Wisconsin that weekend. I'll be back in Chicago for Stand Up Sit Down on April 1st. It's a new show. Time, same show, but it's the first Wednesday of every month at the world famous Laugh Factory in Chicago. If you follow this channel, you follow me, just message me on Instagram and I will give you free tickets to that show. If you don't already, follow me on Instagram at Paul Farahvar. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, share, follow these clips, share these clips. It helps so much. And I have a Substack now on Paul F Comedy. Subscribe to that. I answer any questions you have about comedy, anything on my Substack, and they're really short essays, probably like, I don't know, 2 paragraphs. So they're easy reads, fun reads. If you like my writing, check it out there. I'll be on the road again in April, on April 4th in Minnesota at Running Aces in Minneapolis or near Minneapolis. And then I'll be back in Florida at Laugh Out Lounge, LOL Lounge in Winter Park. It's one of my favorite places to perform, April 10th and 11th. So if you're in the Winter Park area, check me out there. Follow me at Paul F Comedy on my website so you can see all my upcoming dates. Subscribe to my mailing list. I send out an email once a month. Also, if you like this podcast and you want a pin, I still have a few of these Why Are You Awake pins. I got one on right here. It's just the logo, which is right there as well. So these are cool pins. They're super cool, and you can be a cool kid like me and have this on your lapel. Enjoy this episode. Thank you so much for all the support and all the new follows on social media. Also, check out our sponsor. Hey, gang. As some of you know, I used to be a practicing lawyer in Chicago. I no longer practice, but from time to time, I need a lawyer. And when I need a lawyer, I call my friend Scott Shapiro. Scott Shapiro has been practicing law for over 25 years in Chicago. He does it all, from workers' compensation to personal injury, employment issues, and even entertainment law and contract needs. If you need a lawyer, call my friend Scott. 312-648-8800. That's 312-648-8800. Or you can email him at scott@scottshapirolegal.com. Tell him I sent you. Why Are You Awake Time? Paul Farahvar here, your host. This week we have comedian Azhar Usman. Azhar.
What's up, man?
How are you doing?
It's Ramadan.
What is Ramadan?
Ramadan for those who may still not know, or they might have heard the name but not really gotten any understanding of what it is. You know, I guess if you're a Christian, it's like Muslim Lent. It's the 9th month of the lunar Islamic calendar. It's the month of fasting. The way the fast works is you refrain from eating, drinking, and sex from sun up to sundown.
But then the sun goes down, you do whatever you want.
Sun goes down within reason, yes. Used to
sex.
The regular rules, yeah. If you're a married person, yeah, sex is now permissible again.
Drinking, if you
drink, yeah. Well, not drinking alcohol. There's a big debate about alcohol. It's an interesting we can get into, but yeah, as a rule, people
pork you can eat after midnight.
No pork.
No pork.
So the regular rules still apply.
I just think that all religion, organized religion, is dangerous.
I would say the operative word is organized, and the second operative word is religion in that sentence. Because I think you and I probably agree. You know, most quote-unquote organized religion in the world today.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know what I mean? This is where the trick is. I think that it's a satanic trick to get a person to doubt quote-unquote organized religion on the basis of this very rational observation that it's basically all cult shit?
I mean, I believe in God. I think
You do believe in God?
I do. Yeah, I'm not atheist, but I don't. I think
You can be an
that it's-
atheist and believe in God, by the way. Well, you're a deist.
Yeah, I think there's a supreme being. I just don't think that it's like.
So you're a deist.
I don't know what I am.
So deist takes the position you just articulated, which is I believe in some higher power God.
Yes.
Regarding religious claims, prophecy, scripture, religion, revelation, all that stuff is theism. And it's like there's a lot of people who are deists like, yo, I can believe in some higher power, but all this
Organized.
fairy tales.
Fasting, going to church on Sunday.
The rituals, let's call that ritual.
The rituals. Yeah, I just think some of it is
the
a
form
little
of religion. Yeah.
I think it's all kind of like a way of controlling people in a way. And maybe that's good. You know, we need to have some sort of order.
Right.
I'm a big believer in law. I believe in law and I believe in order.
So that's an interesting philosophical question. Because like, how could you then believe in law? Do you not then ask, where did all this law come from?
Right. It does. It's based on, you know, the religious books that have come up over the years.
So therefore, you just said you
Moral
believe in
constructs.
God. You just said you believe in law,
I
but then you
do.
said you simultaneously earlier that you believe all this. It's all just a way to control people. It's made up.
So laws are a way to control people.
Right, but what I'm saying is, if it's all just made up,
I don't think it's made up. I think it's just like
I guess where did it come from? That's the point.
Yeah,
I'm trying to put
sure,
it on the
I don't know the
microscope,
answer.
which is why I'm saying it all comes back to God.
I stopped smoking pot in the 90s, so I don't know, man.
It's interesting to me because you're also Persian origin.
Iranian,
I'm
yeah.
so curious how you're feeling with
All
like
this
that, bro.
shit's
There's an
going on.
active war going on.
Yeah,
between
I expect-
Israel, Iran, and the United States.
I posted my thoughts on Facebook.
Paul Farahvar soundbite.
Generally, what I've said, and I'm no expert, although I did study Middle East studies in undergrad. It was one of my
Where'd you go to school?
thesis, University of Illinois. Iran, the Ayatollah, the whole Muslim state there is oppressive, fascist regime.
Cult. You dismiss it as
It's
a
a
cult.
regime. I think that what I was taught growing up, because my mom is Baha'i, my dad is Jewish, and my dad is he doesn't believe in God at
Your
all.
mom was raised Baha'i?
But raised Baha'i.
Wow.
Seeing what happened in 1979 and all my family that was persecuted and everything, I just think that there needs to be a separation between church and state. I'm a strong believer in that. So when I see people talking about putting the 10 commandments up in schools and shit, that's like a trigger for me. I think one of the big things we've learned about Iran is there needs to be a church and state separation. The Ayatollah being removed, great, but this is just like such a symbolic bullshit, because he wasn't the dude that was running the country. He's 86 years old who had cancer, they say. There's a group of mullahs that run the country. They were oppressive. They killed their own people. And I think this is just Israel and America's way of just distracting bullshit. But if it ends up in regime change, great.
Right.
I just don't see
It's
it.
sort of a happy consequence.
Yeah, like sometimes happy things happen when people fuck up.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? The neocons who for years dreamed about regime change in Iran. You know, Paul Wolfowitz, Donald Rumsfeld, all those guys, Dick Cheney. If they decided when they had an opportunity to go in Iran, they said this isn't worth it. If they thought it wasn't worth it and they knew everything, what are we doing? We have people in charge now that don't know anything. They couldn't even tell you the difference between Sufi and Sunni 6 months ago. I bet you.
As if there's a difference, by the way,
Heggs
because
said-
if you actually want to define these terms, Sunni has to do with,
Right, I mean,
a theological
you know what
sect, and
maybe I
Sufi
should have
is a
said
spirit.
something else. You know what I mean.
You're illustrating the point.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
widespread public ignorance, and
Ignorance
definitely,
on
I
the
think,
whole thing.
the leadership is clearly
and so
blind.
they're blinded by this. Although I did hear yesterday Condoleezza Rice was seen going into the White House, so at least they're consulting people who know something. Whether I agree with her or not, at least she knows something. I bet you none of those fuckers know about what America did in 1953 with Mossadegh, and where they brought the CIA.
Of course they don't, bro. What do we, bro?
Fucking
people
idiots.
have a TikTok memory now. All right?
Yeah.
Forget
So-
about it. It's over. I mean,
We've digressed. I don't think we would have gone into Iran on that Friday if, and I am not a conspiracy guy, if the
it was
economy
9/11,
was
by the way.
great.
Did you know that? It was the 11th of Ramadan. It was 9/11.
Oh, was it really? Interesting. if it wasn't the economy doing shit and the Epstein stuff being in the news. I think they thought there was a great opportunity to further flood the world with information so we can distract from all the other things that are going on in the world. I try not to talk about it so much because people get pissed off on both sides.
Yeah.
Iranians are fighting with me in private. I'm like, post your thoughts on my Facebook. This is a dialogue. I'm not an expert.
One of my favorite things about free speech, we're both lawyers.
Yes.
Former attorneys. You still practice law or no? When's the last time you practiced?
March 1st, 2020.
Nice. So you've just been all in.
Gone,
comedy.
yeah.
How's it been for you? Do you miss
ups and downs? No,
I don't miss the law at all.
No, I still have all the law degrees, obviously. Nice. I always point this out to everyone that does the podcast, but now I have a fellow lawyer.
You maintain your license and all that shit?
It's non-active.
I was inactive for years as well. A couple years ago, I was just like, bro, why am I not just keeping my shit active and then like using my law degree opportunistically, which is basically a law degree in America is a license to steal. Like that's the best way I've heard it.
We'll edit that out for the American Bar Association. Yeah.
And so I'm just like, I should maintain my license. And I was coming across different business opportunities where it was like, it would be useful to have a license. So I paid some money. I did a bunch of CLEs.
Yeah.
And I got myself back on the roster. And then I just had it and did nothing with it again for probably about 5 years. And then I started getting those threatening letters in the last year about, we're going to remove you from the master roll of attorneys. I'm just like, yeah, fine, whatever. I don't care.
I'm a member with good standing that's not active.
Yeah, inactive. I did that for years as well.
You're a lawyer. You practice law. If you practice law, you pass the bar exam. You're a lawyer.
Can I tell you the best thing about being having a law license? The obligation to attorney-client confidentiality continues to persist.
Oh yeah, everyone thinks
so. It's
everything.
Yeah, but it's true. Like I feel that obligation.
If someone says that you're their attorney.
No, if someone wants to have a private conversation with me and I tell them, you can talk to me as though this is attorney-client privilege because my responsibility to the bar as a member in good standing means I will keep this confidential.
I have to give you $1.
I have, exactly. No, that's exactly right. I've done this.
I don't think that's how it works, but okay.
Well, you're missing my point. I'm saying they're not hiring you as a lawyer,
They're treating you like one.
They want to have a private conversation.
Oh, of course,
right? Privacy is the trade.
Right. I've definitely had that happen to me where people have me review things for them as
just to talk to a person and talk it out, talk it through.
Or people will be like, hey, will you look at this contract? And then I look at the contract. I'm like, fuck, that's what you made on this deal? What am I doing here?
You've had that happen?
100%.
No way.
A lot of times. People will be like, do you mind? I go, yeah, but I'm going to be pissed off, aren't I?
You just do it as a homie?
I can't really review it because I'm not licensed in New York.
I'll look at it as a friend.
But if they have a question about a certain sentence, I'll be like, that's what they mean.
Yeah, what I'll do, I've done this for years. I'll be like, listen, I need to tell you this. I'll literally say these words. I am not engaged in the practice of law.
I always say that right away.
I am talking to you as your friend, and I'm happy to talk to you as a friend, and I'm happy to refer you to an attorney.
Right, and you can get referral fees sometimes.
Yeah, if you want to, but I've literally never taken a penny.
I always try to. I'm like, do you take referral fees? I had a bunch. How long did you practice law for?
I practiced law briefly from 2001 to 2005.
Yeah, I mean, I have you beat, but like 15 years.
Yeah, of course, bro. I know my shit. I didn't like it. You know what I mean? Like, I just didn't like that environment. I despise. May God curse the person who invented the billable hour.
Oh yeah,
and chopping up a 60-minute chunk.
I loved it.
6-minute increments.
Love the billable hour? You know why I loved it? It's because I loved to keep track of my time.
You and I are such half full, half empty. It's such a great. You're not wrong at all. I don't disagree with you.
I loved it because. And also, for years, I only made money because I was a part-time lawyer. I only made money on
relationship with time, bro. I don't respect the clock. The clock is a made-up constant. 24 hours a day. It's always right now, bro.
Yeah, that's why we're up late.
Whether I'm awake or asleep, it's always right now.
Were you always a night owl?
Yeah, man.
Even when you were a kid?
Even when I was a kid, bro. You know what I used to do? Sneak downstairs after everyone was asleep and watch TV basically all night, and then fake being sick the next day in the morning. missing school, sleeping in, watching TV all day. I watched so much TV.
What were you watching?
Bro, I was watching a lot of sitcoms, old sitcoms.
Me too.
Yeah, no, you know what I watched? I watched a lot of like All in the Family, The Jeffersons, Good Times,
Sanford and Sons.
This shit would come on late.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'd
Channel
watch
32.
that. I'd watch a lot of game shows.
Yeah. You grew up in Skokie?
Skokie.
You know, I grew up in Lincolnwood and Skokie too.
Oh my God. Wait, how old are you?
We were the same age. I would have gone to Niles West, but we moved in third grade to Oak Brook. Yeah, but my brother, but I grew up there. I grew up in Skokie, and then I moved.
When I was born, we lived in the city of Chicago. So we moved to Skokie when I was 7. So we lived in apartments at first when I was a little baby.
Same.
And my parents bought a house. My dad bought his first house when I was probably 2 or 3.
Okay.
And then we lived in that house for a few years until we moved to Skokie.
Yeah, we moved from Skokie. We were in an apartment in Skokie. Then we moved to a house.
Yeah, man. I think that experience, I think that we don't talk enough about how there's so many like insane sort of paradoxes in American culture and politics. On the one hand, there's this anti-immigrant sentiment that's become so popular in certain segments of American society, who shall remain nameless. Anybody who knows actual immigrants, like our parents, for example, ain't nobody love this country more than immigrants. Because then when you talking about, bro, they left behind their whole country.
I had a guy tell me to go back home online when I explained the Iranian thing. I'm like, you dumb motherfucker. Like, and then I think about it. It's like my dad was a doctor, my brother's a neurosurgeon. Together, between them two and me, we've saved thousands of lives.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just mostly them two, but it's all them two. Let's talk about Skokie for a while. So you had a sister?
I have an older sister.
Older sister?
Yep. She's 3 years older than me. Just the two of us.
Okay.
Yeah, so
and you were the younger?
I am the younger.
You have the traits of a younger.
The baby, the only boy.
Yeah.
Spoiled brat, just a lot.
What were you like as a kid? Were you getting in trouble, like attention seeking, or were you like a good kid?
Yeah, no, I was always attention seeking, misbehaving. I was the kid in the back of the class making jokes.
Really?
Well, I was making everyone laugh, but I was good at school.
You got good grades.
I didn't get great grades. Sometimes I got great, but I didn't try at all.
You were smart.
I don't use the word smart. I call this academically inclined.
That's smart.
No, because there's some people I know who are academically inclined, but they're not smart. They're dumb.
Right.
And I know some people who are actually very smart, street smart, quote unquote.
Street smart.
But they're not academically inclined.
So they're smart and they're street smart. But you're calling it academically inclined because you're politically correct.
No, it's not politically correct because I think I'm actually pretty book smart. I don't think I'm actually very street smart.
Oh, I think you're street smart.
I'm not bad relative to I'm above average. At best, I'm at 90th percentile.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out why my friends laugh when I'm not trying to be funny.
Let me ask you
like
this.
that right there.
Let me ask you this.
This is the bait of my existence, Paul.
So when you were in junior high, were you still the same thing? You were just
since I was a kid.
Sports or anything?
Never organized sports. I played a lot of just fun intramural basketball with friends. And
what about high school then? What happens when you get to high school?
So I get to high school, Niles West.
Yeah.
Bro, I started high school in the late 80s. So that's legit for me to say I started high school in the 80s.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is when you were in high school, though, you weren't drinking.
No, I never drank. So I go to high school. Okay, so I'm in high school. If there's all these cliques that we all know, the nerds, the jocks, the whatever, I moved in all circles.
Right.
Because I was a clown. So my humor is what made me move within all these circles. I was cool with everybody. And I was in, the advanced, whatever, the gifted version of all the shit. So I'd always be with the nerds. Yeah. I was cool with the nerds.
What about racism stuff? Any shit like that in Niles for being... Did you have a beard back then?
I grew a beard by the time I graduated, I think. I don't think so, no, actually, because I was 17.
Okay. When I was kidding. You didn't have a fucking beard when you were fucking 13.
Yeah, so I get into religion in high school. I had a friend. So my life was such.
Were there other Indian or any Middle Easterners?
Yeah, there were a few, but here's the part I'm omitting that will make this all make sense. My parents remain to this day. They moved to Florida, but they're sort of like part of the Muslim community kind of organizers.
Okay.
So there was a mosque called Muslim Community Center. It's on Elston. It still exists to this day. They were part of the small community of whatever, a few dozen families or whatever, a couple dozen families who founded that institution.
Okay.
So they used to teach a Sunday school. And then in addition to that, there was like a once a month Saturday night, as I described this, it sounds sounds like some kind of a
Cult?
Sinister. No, it was just a group of Muslim families who had all primarily South Asian.
But did they go to your high school with you too?
So some of them did. I knew
Okay.
them from these circles, and I knew them
Right.
at school.
So we had that with the Persian community too.
Exactly, right?
But they were different.
It's interesting how, but then it's sort of like you have these different lives.
Yeah, so I separated the two. We were separate but equal. I had my Persian friends, and then I had, they're like family friends,
Yeah.
and then I had like the cool, because I was trying to be a cool kid that assimilated into my high school. So like there were two different things.
And also, you and I have a mutual friend, Suhaib.
Saab and I went to law school together. Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah.
See, because he's an example of somebody I knew from that Sunday school world.
Oh, you knew him? Oh, that's right. He's got
I didn't really
Skokie
know him
connections.
from the specific Sunday school, but his parents are like
Yeah.
legends
Yeah.
in the American Muslim community.
He's so
bro.
funny. I think
he is
I tried to get
hilarious,
him into
bro.
stand-up comedy.
Yeah, bro. Both
so
twins.
many
He's
times.
a twin brother. As
Yeah,
you
I
know.
do.
Both of them are some of the funniest people I know.
So Saab was helping me with my show, Everyone's a Lawyer, which you did.
Yes.
And I was trying to use that as a way to get him into comedy. And then,
Bro, we should explore that.
yeah, well, this is us telling you to get back into it, Saab. But high school now. Were you night owl back
I did
then?
theater, by the way. in
Okay,
high
so
school.
that's what I was trying to get
I
into.
ended up getting into theater as well.
So you were with like theater kids?
I was around theater kids as well. I was friends with all the theater kids. Of course, I was in theater.
What were you doing in theater?
I did plays.
Were you starring?
I
in
was
them?
an actor.
What was the best role you had?
I played the devil. The character's called the Snake.
Were they like, okay, you're gonna be the devil? You're like, I didn't even audition yet. They're like, no, but just for
We
this
already know
area,
you are. Yeah, we already know you are.
we just know where it was.
The
Very
play
well.
was called The Apple Tree. It's a famous play, evidently, and it's the only stars three characters: Adam, Eve, and the Snake. And I had a solo. I sang a song and had a dance.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Did your parents like that, or were they like?
Yeah, my
go
dad
back to-
My dad has a VHS videotape
Oh, you
of
should
that.
put
I
that on
believe.
social media.
And in fact, bro, this is a great little showbiz story. My early experiences in show business as a theater kid. All right, the lesson learned was the show must go on. I'm in the middle of one of our performances. I think we did.
This is you as the devil.
Let's call him the Snake. Yes.
Okay.
In a tuxedo, doing a song and dance number. Listen closely, let me fill you in.
Yeah.
About the rich, ripe, round, red, rosy apples they call forbidden fruit. Yeah, I was in it, bro. It's in me.
So
I've
what
done that
happened?
in-
The show goes on.
So I'm in my song and dance, bro. A nail that somebody left on stage goes through my shoe, through the sole into my foot, punctures my foot.
Wow, that's a lawsuit.
Crazy pain, right? I was too unsophisticated to know that at the time, that it was a lawsuit. That's why they were calling over and over to make sure I was okay. But this goes through my foot, bro. I feel it. I don't even flinch, bro. I do the whole number through like nothing
Adrenaline,
happened.
yeah.
Get off stage. What the fuck, bro? Take that shit out. There's a nail in my foot.
Do you think it was done intentionally by the by the Jews in the play by Hollywood
funny.
Jews?
That's so funny. I've never once considered that was a deliberate act of sabotage by anyone until this.
For those that don't know,
lawyer.
Skokie is a very highly Jewish community. So for me, I was a night owl because I was partying late. I was drinking. I was partying, and during the week, I just like to watch. I watched Johnny Carson and Letterman.
So you were into comedy.
I was
as a
into
fan.
comedy as a fan. Comedy was never on my radar to do. I wasn't the funny kid in school or anything.
You were
like
not.
that. I was not. I mean, I would say funny shit to my friends, but it was always like I was like subtle.
You weren't the class clown, quote unquote.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah,
the
see,
class
that's the thing. I got in trouble sometimes. Even.
Yeah, I was always like, I would push the limits with the teachers, but they liked me. I always got out of trouble. They used to call me the senator because I would get us out of trouble. Like I would just
you're a
rational-
diplomat. You're very diplomatic.
I got us out of.
Yeah, you're a very diplomatic person. You really are that.
When we got pulled over by cops, like we had alcohol a couple times. I'm like, look, officer, this is going to be more complicated for everybody. You want to go home? We want to go home. Take the alcohol. We'll just walk away. You don't want to do paperwork. Our parents are going to, they're going to just make you look bad. It's not really like,
You would talk your way.
I would talk my way out of shit.
That's fucking amazing.
And there's videotape of me doing that to cops coming up to parties.
That's
I was
amazing.
always good at that shit.
So you were a great slick arguer. So a career in law
Yeah.
was a perfect trajectory.
I always wanted to be a lawyer
So you were in band. When did you start getting in bands?
in college because my parents didn't support the arts like yours did. You're
I
going
don't
to
know
be
if my parents support supported it. They did not.
Your dad
support it.
videotaped
Yeah,
it.
that's true. Yeah, no, they were supportive.
What were you doing late at night?
Again, bro, I would stay awake late and
By
watch
yourself?
TV.
You wouldn't
Yeah,
get into
yeah.
trouble with friends or anything?
There was a lot of it was a lot of sleeping over at, doing sleepovers at friends' houses.
What do you guys do if you're not drinking? Were you smoking pot?
What were we doing, bro? We were watching movies, playing video games. Video games were
Fucking nerds.
had started to become a thing.
Yeah.
Which was actually one of the biggest arguments I've gotten with my dad. I was in college. I would have been probably 18 or 19. I had a car, but I was staying at my parents' house and driving into UIC. I went to UIC. So my first year, I did this drive back and forth, and then I got an apartment. So that first year, while I'm doing that commute on a Friday or Saturday night, I'm hanging out at my friend's house. Again, what are we doing? We don't drink. We don't smoke. We're no women there. We're literally just watching movies, hanging out, talking, video games. A huge thing has become. So it's just like there's nothing sinister happening. And my dad would just be on me about you're staying out so late. Blah blah. I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So what? I come home one night. It's probably 2:30 in the morning, and this is his big he's gonna confront me moment, so he's literally waited all night for me. Something out of a movie. So I come in and he's sitting there, he's like, do you know what time it is? I'm just like, yeah, bro, it's 2:30 only. And where were you? I said, bro, I texted you. Or no, not text. This is the
beeper days.
Yeah. Right? So he had beeped me, and I tried calling back. It had gotten too late. Whatever. I was like, I did call back, but everything's fine, bro. It's like there's nothing. And I told him where I was gonna be. He tries to do this whole, and I basically just said, something like, you're acting like, I'm not hiding anything from you. You know exactly where I am. You know
I'm
what
not
I'm
drinking.
up to.
I'm not
you know who I'm
drinking.
with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm doing. This idea that somehow it's unsafe. That's the big thing. It's unsafe. I'm like, bro, whether I'm hanging out in this basement in Skokie or his basement in Skokie,
doesn't matter. We're not
2 miles
doing
is absurd. Is just crazy. So I said, your whole thing is that you want to come at me on you want to live under my roof. You got to live under my rules. If this is your rule, that's fine. I'll just move out.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal to me. And then it was finally the first time he just talked to me as a
He realized
human
that.
being.
Yeah.
I was not just
That's good.
And he was just like, you're right. Okay, fine, cool. So that was a big moment in my life, man, honestly.
Let me ask you a question. First of all, you subtly threw in there that you only went to college for 3 years. You graduated in 3 years?
I graduated in 3 years.
Fucking nerd.
Because I took a bunch of AP classes, and then I took 1 year of summer school.
Academically smart. Let's just agree that that's what it is.
Being able to navigate the...
What did you call it before?
Academically inclined.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
What did you get on your ACT?
There's a knack to... I got my ACT. I think I had a better SAT.
What was your ACT?
30 or 31.
Okay. Still one of the best of all the comedians that did this show.
I think my SAT, I think it was 1350. But the thing is, I had a very high math, surprisingly.
Academically inclined.
Academically inclined. LSAT. I taught the LSAT course.
What'd you get in your LSAT?
LSAT, I got 162.
Fucker.
Well, what'd you get?
161. You went to Minnesota Law School.
University of Minnesota. They gave me a full ride, bro. Off that score.
Wow.
Well, I went to law school with the guy who aced it.
Got 160. What is perfect?
No, 170, 180.
So in college, though, you're still a night owl, but you're just hanging out with friends.
Yeah, I'm hanging out with friends. I got
movies.
So I got moved in an apartment my second and third year with the roommates. And we were just, once I had my own apartment and I was a night owl and the internet was the new hot shit. This would have been 1995,
probably. Yeah.
And I had all night access to a computer lab. So I'm just on surfing the internet, listening to music. I'm learning. I'm reading. Bro, I read mad.
Did you see all the books in my hallway? I read everything.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
I read 5 books a month.
Wow, that?
3 a month, though.
On your Kindle now?
No, I read real books.
Really?
Yeah.
I just consume a ton of information.
I don't like reading computer screens. It makes me fucking...
I consume a ginormous amount of information through my phone.
So in college, then, you're just staying up late. You're not getting in trouble. What about with girls? When did that come into the picture?
So I fell in love with my first wife when I was a kid, bro. I was 13 years old.
You knew each other growing up?
Yes, we knew of each other.
From those Muslim community
From the Muslim
things?
community, yeah. And I met her, the first time I ever hung out with her was at a mutual friend's house.
Did she could you ever see her face, or was she always covered?
No, she ended up wearing a hijab years later, but at the time she was not wearing the hijab.
She has pretty eyes.
She was 6 months younger.
That's all I could see.
She's 6 months younger younger than me. I was at the time 13, so she would have been 12. I was convinced. I was like, bro, I'm in love. I love this girl. I'm going to marry this woman.
And you guys got divorced, though?
After 19 years.
Yeah. Are you friendly, though?
I'd like to be, but she's not really open to that.
But you have 4 kids together?
We have 4 sons.
That's insane.
Together. Yeah. 4 grown sons. They're 24, 22,
Jesus
19,
Christ.
17, bro. Yeah, I could become like a grandfather.
So you had kids while you were in law school?
No, I got married after law school.
Okay. What about girls before your wife? Did you ever have any scandalous affairs?
I was with I wanted to be the woman who would become my first wife. You know, we started basically dating very secretly when we were still in high school. Then I go to college. We stayed together. Yeah, we stayed together the whole time in college.
Did she go to college, same school?
No, she went to Northwestern. When I moved to Minnesota for law school is when the long distance, we couldn't make it work. So then we broke up, and then I was, just single for a year. Free agent for about a year. And I wasn't like going crazy or anything, but yeah, I went on a few dates. There was a couple of women who were really interested.
You don't strike me as like, what are those guys called? Sex hounds?
Not at that time. I subsequently took a very dark turn in my life as far as my relationship with pornography and sex and,
As an adult, you mean?
Yeah. It's, it's like tasting the forbidden fruit type energy, My own personal take, maybe I'm projecting, but based on all my conversations with men I know, my current thesis is pornography addiction among men is actually an undiagnosed public health crisis. In other words, so if you do 12-step work, right, the first step of the 12-step program is to acknowledge that one is powerless over blank, alcohol, drugs, porn, whatever, okay? And the second part is important, and that my life has become unmanageable. And that's why I say, because most people are basically high-functioning addicts. Their life remains manageable.
A functioning alcoholic.
Yeah, exactly. To me, it's actually almost like smoking. It's like spiritual smoking.
It definitely affects relationships, and it affects your outlook on everything. It's really bad, but it's so fun.
It's dark. I know, exactly. I mean, it's
so fun.
It's irresistible. And they made it irresistible, which is why it's like,
so accessible.
There's so many of them. There's Sex Addicts Anonymous, Sexaholics Anonymous, Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous, SLAA. So I've actually gone to several of these different types of meetings, but I think that I found, a couple that I really...
Why don't you talk about this on stage? I don't think anybody's talking about this.
Anyway, I bring all this up to say, I was in one of those meetings and I heard a guy say this, and I never forgot this. And he said, I was a raging alcoholic for many years and got cleaned up through 12-step AA program. And he said, but the thing about it is pornography is in your pocket 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Right.
Unlike alcohol.
Even alcohol you can't buy from like 12 noon or, 12 at night.
At the end of my second year of law school, my first love, who would go on to become my first wife, comes back into my life. This was a mistake. We got a
Bollywood soap opera. Did you guys have an Indian wedding?
Well, she's Pakistani. Oh. My family's Indian, so whatever. Yes, Indo-Pak wedding. Same shit, bro.
What's the difference between the two weddings? I feel like all of them are the same, including Iranian weddings.
They're the same, yeah.
Except, did you have an elephant in yours?
I was about to say, minus the elephant. We had
no elephant?
No, we had no elephant, too.
Wow. Was that extra?
Bro, we're so young. I was sort of like, our parents kind of planned it. I was 22 years old. Yeah, I started law school when I was 20 years old.
So you graduate? Yeah, that's right.
Because I also skipped a grade as a kid.
You younger.
I basically skipped kindergarten.
You're like an academic inclined.
My parents, again, Indian, navigating the system, right? We're in Chicago. We're lower income. They have a program called Head Start.
I know what it is.
My mom had a degree from India in early childhood education. How about I volunteer and lend a helping hand here in the classroom because I have this qualification. But what I'll ask in return is my kid, who's a pretty smart kid, he's 3, let him come as well. Sure. I'm 3 when I start what you're supposed to be 4. So then when I turn 4, they're like, all right, well, he did everything in this Head Start, so we should put him in kindergarten. They're like, yo. We have these reserved spots, limited spots for kids who are already 5. He can't just jump the line. So then my parents are like, all right, well, what are we going to do? My mom actually pitched this idea. True educator, man. She goes, well, look, all we want is just for him to continue his education. So look, can we just keep coming back here? I'll keep volunteering. And basically I do a second year of preschool, but I get full customized attention from like 3 dope teachers who all love and care about me, who already know me. I just learned everything I needed to know for kindergarten. So then the next year, like, all right, he's ready for kindergarten. He's like, whoa. He already did all this shit, bro. So they made me take a test, put me in first grade.
First grade, hell yeah. That's where street smart.
You know, you're right. There is a type of street smartness to me as well.
Your mom was street smart. Clever is, I think there's clever, which is more street smart, and then there's like academic smart, which is just regular smart. You were both.
I've been very gifted in my life, but here's the thing. I have a hard time accepting that, only because if someone ever says to me, it's kind of like that, I don't want to be a member of a club that'll have me, you know? If someone says to me that they think I'm smart, my only response to that, with no ego about it, is like, oh, that just means you don't know any smart people.
No, I think you're smart.
Because I'm smarter than you. I know. What's that?
I'm smarter than you.
Is that your own perception of yourself?
I think I'm smarter than most people, yeah.
So you think you're smarter than me in what sense? What does that even mean?
I don't know. I'm just trying to start a fight.
No, it's an interesting ego game that people play. Maybe not until you said that.
No,
do I think I'm smarter than him?
No, let me ask you this. I think you're probably smarter than me in a lot of things. I do find myself frustrated a lot and I joke about it. I did someone else's podcast and I said it's hard being the smartest person in the room most of the time. And I do feel that a lot, because sometimes you'll hear people talking. I was in a green room recently on the road, and there's like 3 comics and they're all talking about things that they should know more than me about, because they're younger and they're talking about social media and stuff, and the shit they're saying is wrong. But I'm like, I don't want to mansplain to these fucking kids. That's where I should not be the smartest person in the room, but yet I still am. Whereas in other rooms, you have people talking about, like, Iran, iced Section 1983 lawsuits, which is what I did for a living.
I think that.
So I'm the smartest person in the room. I
got you. Yes, I understand the point you're making. I'm talking about comedy. To me, is just only one dimension or sphere of my life.
That's different.
Yeah, but I'm talking about just other real life conversations I have with other real smart people, politics or culture or money or business or finance or tech or AI.
All of those,
I'm
smart.
So
I'm smart at law, politics.
Okay, this is a good idea of where I'm coming from when I'm so dismissive of that. Like, bro, that just tells me you don't know hang out with smart people. Yeah, one of my friends, just one of them, when it comes to like questions of finance or economics, or he's a tenured economist professor at University of Chicago Business School. He's not a schmuck. He turned down an MIT full professorship. So it's like, this motherfucker's. I can ask this guy
about
tariffs. Rather than somebody sending me some fucking Substack article.
That's a real smart person.
Yeah, bro. And I'm telling you that, like, that I've been very lucky in the extent to which I feel very blessed in life. Crazy hitters.
And you know me, fucking smarter than you.
I don't know if you are. I don't know yet. I don't know you well enough. It may be true, bro, but I have a feeling that you're full of yourself.
Fucking degrees up here, bro.
I have a feeling you're full of yourself.
See all this shit up here? This is real.
I think this is why this is happening tonight. Is about to finally pop this balloon you've created.
Do you see? I've argued before Supreme Court people. Supreme Court justices. When does stand-up comedy come into the play here? You're in law school? Or even you started doing it before that.
So as part of this whole Muslim community dual life kind of thing, there's the mosque community I'm part of. There's a summer camp. This sounds more and more sinister as we talk. It's called Muslim Youth Camp.
Yeah.
And when I was coming up,
this fucking podcast is gonna get flagged.
Yeah, when I was coming up, it was co-ed. Then at some point, some more radical, I'm gonna use radical conservative organizers came in the mix. Plus, there was a higher population, so they said we're gonna have a different boys' camp and a girls' camp. But that didn't come 2 years later. So the point being, at that summer camp, which was held at like a Camp Opaka in Wisconsin, we stayed there, for a week, and we'd have a fire at night, and then we would
campfire. No military.
No military. Campfire. And we'd make halal s'mores. Okay, this is how controversial it was. But we were organized at the camp according to our cabin, and each cabin had a name. So then each cabin would present something at the campfire. So we started doing comedy sketches. So that was my first I'm only 12, 13.
Were you writing them or like
writing them, basically improv sketches or sketches.
Okay.
So that was a fun little dabbling in and getting big laughs, and being
Sure.
funny, and then winning award. Oh, our cabin's winning or whatever. It was a thing, right? So then we
How
did
many
this
people were in
summer-
this camp?
100 people.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's a big group.
Yeah, we get a little audience, So that was a little taste of like, performing. And then fast forward 14, 15 is probably when I started doing theater at school, high school.
Snake, yeah.
I was in 10 Little Indians, Agatha Christie. I was in
Fucking racist.
I was in probably 3 or 4 plays.
Okay.
Well, I was in a play about AIDS.
Ryan
Swear
White
to
story.
God, yeah. I played a preacher. They cast me as a black preacher, and I portrayed this guy.
Blackface?
No, not quite black. Black voice.
Okay.
No black face, only black voice.
Okay, good.
And he was a preacher. It was called Going Toward the Light. I think it was the name of the play. I think they still make this play.
Kids? High school kids?
Yeah, can you believe that?
Jesus
And it's only
Christ.
because the head of the theater department was gay.
Oh, okay.
I forgot his name, Mr. He passed away, but rest in peace. He was a great theater director.
Of AIDS?
I'm not sure, maybe. And it was actually probably one of the interesting experiences of my life, because here as a man who I learned so much from, I looked up to him as the teacher, the director. He would teach a theater class, which I also took, and then as part of the class, he would assign one person to direct a play. And so it became a very collaborative, like I'm working with a director, being directed, which actually has been very valuable to this day as an actor. I've gotten to do some acting.
We're going to stand up first.
Through these sketches we're doing, my friend and I, this guy Habib Qadri, who's a principal of a Muslim school now, we get a bit of a reputation as being like this funny comedy duo. So we get invited to do a show basically around Eid in Milwaukee, and they're going to pay us $500, and we're like 16. And
For other Muslims.
for a Muslim community that's having
Right.
an Eid event. So I mentioned this to my parents, and they're like, "Yeah, you should do that. We'll go. It'll be a fun family activity." To your point, being supportive. And I asked Habibi, "Oh, do you want to do this?" He's like, "Yeah, let's do it." So I don't remember how he must have had a car. He drove to my house. Then my parents drove us. Me, my sister had to come along. We go there, so we perform these sketches. In between a couple of sketches, there's a change of set, and we hadn't really planned this out properly. We just kind of threw it together. So I, thinking I'm just going to hold this audience over, attempt to do stand-up comedy. Bomb. It's like a community center. Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably like a couple hundred people there.
Okay.
Bombing. Just silence. Worst bomb of my life, probably.
But then the second show happens, you do good on that.
Yeah, the second that the set is over, I go away, we got to sketches, we're getting laughs again,
Right.
everything's fine. I only attempted this for it felt like an eternity. It was probably 2 minutes, 3 minutes
yeah.
in reality, right? So I get back, so whatever, I'm almost forgot about it. I was feeling like, that was crazy. I tried it, failed, And then we get in the car, we're driving back, my dad goes, "So, you thinking Johnny Carson, huh? This guy thinks he's Johnny Carson, huh?" And I felt this, bro. I felt so ashamed.
Why did he do that, you think?
He still puts me down every opportunity he can ever find.
Okay.
That's just his nature, bro.
Fine.
He's a hater. That's why. He's a hater.
All right.
So he just said that to me, and he did not realize how devastating that comment was.
You still remember it.
I still remember, but also I never even considered trying it again until years later. So fast forward when I moved to Minnesota for law school, I have a friend, I just recently saw him after years, Carl Olson. Carl and I he's the guy who aced the LSAT. So he and I start studying together. And then he says, "Yo, I can't do Monday night." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." You just, as you know,
right.
You start form your little groups you study with. Why not? Come to find out he's a comic, and he goes up every Monday at the open mic at the legendary Acme Comedy Club.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, "Bro, are you kidding me? I have to come and see you, So I went with Carl, I think, one night, and I watched. And bro, that was not that night. Then I subsequently went to watch another night with my sister. But I swear to you, on one night I saw Mitch Hedberg come through working on some new material. Nick Schwartzen go up for the first time in his life.
Wow.
And I saw them both crush, and I saw a brand new guy. But within 1 year or maximum 2 years later, Nick Schwartzen was like already a made Hollywood guy. And so I witnessed this, bro, with my own eyes. So this planted a seed that years later I would sort of reflect on. But the point was, I came out of law school still without the balls to do it. But I had seen now, they say that people are inspired by greatness and mediocrity. And I saw both. You know, I saw like great comedy that night, and I saw like people I was like, I could do better than that,
Right.
man. So I walked out of there feeling like I got to try this. So anyway, fast forward, I moved back to Chicago. While I was in law school, this would have been late 90s now, 96 to 99.
Law school in Minnesota.
In Minnesota, that's when the .com boom is happening.
Right.
And I started an internet company. Did I tell you this story?
No, I saw it on your Wikipedia.
Yeah, so I got to have
Instead of working at a law firm, that's what you did.
Yeah, I basically had I lived a bunch of lives like we all have. One of my lives was as a .com fintech co-founder. And we wrote an AI patent, by the way. I'm a co-author on a AI patent from like the early 2000s.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
To get money on it?
No, we sold the patents as part of when we dissolved. We were going to dissolve the business and either go out of business and just like shut down, or sell the company. And then ultimately we sold the assets of the company.
To Elon?
No, we sold it to, at the time, Providian Financial.
Oh yeah, Privet.
PVN, yeah, Providian. But they had just bought, they were at the time $12 billion publicly traded company.
So you started the .com.
Sold the .com, and then I finally started studying for the bar. I had never taken the bar, and then I take the bar in 2001, and like it was a legit startup. We had 50 employees, you know, like investment capital from angel investors and a couple of large funds. We had 2 billionaires invested in the company. Yeah, so it was like a full-on .com startup
fraudulent scam. Yeah,
full-on startup, straight up Silicon Valley.
What is that? Money laundering, or the scheme? What do they call those? Pyramid schemes.
Pyramid schemes. No, it was legit tech investment. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned. I'm sticking to that story. So being an entrepreneur, I actually believe being an entertainer is really just, we don't use the word entrepreneur, but you're an entrepreneur. Yeah, you're making a living by monetizing your creativity, and somehow magically turning that into dollars in your bank account. That's a magic trick as far as I'm concerned. You know, that's insane, bro. So then I start thinking to myself like, yo, I want to try stand up. So suddenly I have this little bit of time on my hands, and I have a little bag of money because they paid us, you know. So anyhow, I have a little bit of money, so I'm like, I'm gonna finally try stand-up comedy. I'm such a nerd. I was like, all right, where do I even begin? So this is like, you know, I go to Barnes & Noble and buy a book on stand-up comedy. I think it was Judy Carter's book.
Oh, yeah.
I try to follow this advice and write like 5-6 minutes. And at the time, I'm trying to like, really, like, I don't want to go to bars. You know, I'm Muslim. I don't drink. I'm like, there's no way to do stand-up if you don't go to bars. Sure enough, I find a coffee shop, open mic inside of a Starbucks, inside of a Barnes & Noble. So I think it was the first open mic I ever did. So then I go up there, and I got enough laughs where I was like, I gotta do this again.
So you start doing it.
So then I start trying to find open mics. Did you ever go to the Lion's Den?
It's before my time.
I mean, low-key, that room changed my life, man.
Yeah.
It changed the trajectory of my life.
There's a book all about that.
So it was like being in the back of the way you can go to open mic today. It's just like I'm in the back cracking jokes with you know, Pete Holmes and TJ Miller and Hannibal Buress and, you know, Kyle Kinane, and like I was just one of the comics. Now, mind you, I'm the only one who's married.
So you can't hang out. You're not drinking.
I'm not drinking, you know. So I was always a comic at the mic, but then like I'm not doing the hangout. Once in a blue moon, we go have a bite, whatever. We had a chat sort of message board, or it was a Yahoo group. It was a Yahoo group called Chick Ha 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 Go. You know, Mark Geary, who runs Lincoln Lodge. Yeah, he might have started it.
Your comedy career blows up after that. We know the story.
Blows up, bro.
Well, you started opening for Chappelle. You probably told that story a billion times.
No, not really. A couple times. Few times.
It's insane. You had this group.
I'm too close to it, bro, to appreciate how insane it is.
So there was from what I understand, you take it from where I get it. 3 or 4 years into comedy, you do an album?
Yes. I dropped my first album in 2000.
And it was called what?
Square the Circle.
Square the Circle.
American Muslim Comedy of Distortion.
It goes into the Muslim community. People get these tapes, and
CD.
It becomes like this crazy thing, and it gets into the hand of Dave Chappelle.
That's correct.
And then
his sister bought it.
So Dave Chappelle, somehow you end up in a room with Chappelle.
It sounds unbelievable,
I know,
right?
Well, he's Muslim, so he gets it. And you're in the room with him, but essentially he tells you to come through when he's at Zanies.
Correct.
And you bring a friend.
Yes.
Take it from there.
Yes.
So you go to Zanies.
So I go to Zanies.
Thinking you're going to go watch Dave Chappelle.
No, because he did tell me I can't get you a ticket, but I can get you in the green room. So the intention was I'm going there now to meet Dave Chappelle. I think it was too surreal, man, at the time.
Right. You talked to him on the phone. That's what it was.
Yeah. The backstory was the synopsis version, right? Two separate things happened. One is that I record my own comedy CD, just self-produced.
Right.
Few years into comedy. Looking back on it, almost like I was too stupid to know you don't do that.
Right.
But honestly, maybe it was the right instinct, and probably I should have released more albums, if I'm being honest. But in any case, I did that. So that was kind of out there in the world, and it's getting burned and shared or whatever. Separately, the year after I record that is when Preacher Moss, the founder of the Allah Made Me Funny comedy tour, approaches me about collabing on that. And then we start making some noise in the Muslim community under this branded kind of show. Mo Amer, who goes on to obviously a very successful commercial comedy career, he was part of that crew. So it's Preacher Moss, Mo Amer, myself, and we tour probably over 20 countries and have a wild run for about a decade. And Dave became a big fan of Allah Made Me Funny. So we hear that Dave Chappelle supposedly is a fan of Allah Made Me Funny. I keep hearing from 2-3 different people like, yo, I know so-and-so, he knows so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. He met Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle asked him if he knew you. I was like, come on, bro. This is so ridiculous, right? So lo and behold, all those rumors ended up being true because Preacher Moss then, after Dave quits his show and disappears for a few days, when he came back to America, one of the first things he did was perform at the DC Improv. And it was announced that day, obviously sold out. So Preacher Moss, who was in DC at the time, was like, I'm going to roll up at the club. I know the manager. So he shows up there, of course, high security, and Preacher Moss makes it very clear, like, hey, listen, I'm not trying to get inside. I'm not trying to call any favors. I have a gift for Dave because I'm fairly certain that he is a fan of our tour.
Right.
Here's a book. He had bought him a book. In the book, he had put his own business card that said Preacher Moss, founder, Allah Made Me Funny. Story as I hear it is that the book finally gets delivered. Dave comes out of the green room looking for Preacher Moss. Like, yo, where is he? I want to meet this guy. So they hit it off. They became friendly. Dave gives him his number. I find out a couple of days later that Dave's coming to Chicago. I hit up Preacher Moss. I said, bro, Dave's coming to Chicago today. I know you just met him and everything, but maybe you would be down to make an intro. So he says, let me talk to Dave. He talks to Dave. And then Preacher Moss tells me, Dave Chappelle said, email him your phone number, which sounds like the most Hollywood shit ever. It's like, all right, great. I'm never hearing from this guy. But I emailed him a nice short email, give him my phone number. He calls me. He invites me to the show that night. I take my homie with me. And so that's how you're caught up. So show up at Zany's. They're like, yeah, right. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm here to see Dave Chappelle. And they're like, yeah, right. So's everybody. Good luck, buddy. They're like, no, sorry, no comics tonight. I was like, no, I'm not here just trying to get in as a comic. Like, Dave Chappelle invited me. They're like, what? And they've all seen me before. They kind of know who I am, but they're like, what the? So they're like, all right, what's your name again? Azhar Usman. All right, hold on a second. They go to the green room, I assume, come back a few minutes later, and then me and my friend Afan and I go into the green room, and Dave was, at the time, right before I got up there, sitting on the couch. He stands up, and he just, like, daps me up and is just like, that's my brother, man. And after that, it just been that was 2006.
Right.
So now it's 20 years later, bro.
And you still open from time to time?
From time to time, I mean, I just got to do it. I got to open for Dave Chappelle at the United Center. Which was an incredible... Insane. Guess what night it was? October 7th, 2023.
Wow. That's insane. So let me ask you a question. So you've done all these shows. You tour.
I don't, bro. That's
you're
not
on
true.
tour. You go on. You do stuff with Mo and Rami, or in a
I
good
have no
way.
audience. No, I'm saying don't.
Okay, well, none of us do. After the shows, what are you doing? Because you're not drinking.
Line of questioning for you, which is like, so since you're not drinking, what are you doing with your life?
Well, because
is that all you do? Is just
as a performer? When I was younger, I was a night owl, and I would go out. I would drink. I'm chasing pussy.
Women,
that was my thing. Now I'm a performer, and I don't drink either. I don't chase women. The thing that I do, I'm productive. I do on the road. I do crazy. I go get food. I edit. Go work out. If I'm at a hotel that has a 24-hour gym, I do a lot of productive things. I hang out with the comedians if I like them, but a lot of times I don't know them, or I don't.
Or you're just smarter than you're too
smart to everybody.
Yeah, we're just hanging out, bro. We're just talking. We're talking.
You can't go to sleep. You're
smoking weed. Maybe
wired.
There's weed smoking happening. There's hash happening.
What does Ella say about that?
Psychedelic Public drug use in the history of Islam is one.
It's a gray area.
It's not even that it's a gray area. It's fun. Wait, what do you mean by that?
I don't know. I'm just trying to like.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a big debate about cannabis and hashish and historical debates among the scholarship of both Sunni and Shia Islam. As new things emerge in the world, for example, coffee. Okay, there's a whole debate about coffee because is it an intoxicant or not? That's what they're debating.
What's the line in the Islamic world, do you think?
The historical kind of position that became, you're a lawyer, and agreed upon, what we call a well-settled area of law.
Yeah.
A consensus view emerged. It's like having a Supreme Court.
What's your position?
Supreme Court opinion. I believe that cannabis use and hashish, when done, it's very similar to actually Anglo-American jurisprudence. When it's done medicinally, then it's being done basically almost like to fulfill a need, and therefore it's medicine. But when it's being done recreationally, just to enjoy a high, then it's more akin to like getting drunk.
So, but you're not doing it medicinally after a show.
Depends on, again, everything is intention with God. I try not to lie to myself.
But between us girls, what do you think is happening?
For sure, I would say I started to smoke excessively on a regular basis at some point. Yeah.
So what's your intention with pot?
Only God knows. That's why I try not to make a claim.
It's a Beach Boys song.
Yeah. So I try not to make even this is a claim that I try not to make a claim about my own intentions.
I was just trying to fuck with you. It didn't work.
I'm too high at this point for you. That was good. That was a good callback. I did that one on purpose. Yeah, I made you laugh there. But I wish I could do that on demand.
After shows, you're just hanging out. You're
just hanging out, man. Talking.
What if you're in a town that's like you don't have someone to hang out with? What do you do?
A lot of times I go out to eat. I find a late night spot, coffee shop. Sometimes I'll go to a late movie. I love going to a late night movie alone. I'll smoke a cigarette inside a theater. I have the perfect cover if anybody ever.
What's your cover?
I'm smoking a cigarette. You come up to me.
Hey, what are you doing?
Saudi?
That's your cover?
You want a cigarette? I just
leading into
full immigrant mode. Yeah. If you want, I can have some. And I just keep smoking and finish it. And by then it's like, outside, no problem.
Too much problems. Yeah.
Put it out.
What if they're like, you're Azhar Usman? I've seen your work. Then what do you do?
Who the damn hell are you talking? What?
I was just at your show at the community theater. Yeah.
No, I'm attorney actually. Okay?
No, you were attorney too. I Wikipedia'd you before the show.
Bullshit Wikipedia.
Listen, buddy, I like your stuff, but
bro,
you can't
I love
smoke
Wikipedia. I donated thousands of dollars to Wikipedia as a supporter.
Oh, good for you.
But I'm not trying to say that to brag. I'm saying I really believe that it's super important. Did you know that it's founded by a former pornographer?
I didn't know that. So what?
It just feels like it's got a dark...
There's so many connections to the porn community. Are you trying to change your being a night owl thing at all?
Bro, what a great
What's your hours now?
Question. That was a great question, man. I think only in the last year or two have I started to retire the friction I feel, the internal friction and tension I feel around like this need to change it. I think I'm letting go of that once and for all and embracing the fact that like, listen, stop beating myself up for being who I am.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm up late at night. I should make it productive. The nice thing is, man, watching movies and TV shows for me as a screenwriter,
you're a writer,
is productive.
Yeah, it is.
So I just happen to be lucky to have like one of the greatest jobs in the world. But it's like, yeah, man, I often
it's part of the work.
Will consume content. I will listen to podcasts that I just enjoy, that I find educational. Learning a lot about AI. I consider myself a student of AI.
Well, you started it.
I started what?
AI.
No, I was.
That's what you said earlier.
I didn't say I started. You
said you were the founder
on a patent
that started AI.
Only because I met people who were.
You said you started it, so you're taking that back.
I didn't start it.
Let me ask you this: so, what are your hours now?
Depends on what I got going on.
Roughly,
what I'm saying, it depends on what I got going on.
What would you do tonight?
At the moment, because I'm on a Ramadan schedule. Ramadan schedule is always I'm up.
So it's good to be up late because it's fucking
perfect.
Rules don't apply,
bro. The whole Muslim world is up all night in Ramadan and it sleeps all day. And then the way that we have like sweeps in America where they program 30-day series that they broadcast on television every night in Ramadan.
So when Ramadan isn't happening, what are your hours?
On any given week, there will be at least 2 to 3 nights where I'm just up till 5 or 6 a.m.
Okay.
Basically, a crucial point happens. I try to pray 5 times a day. I'm terrible at it, bro. I miss mad prayers, but then I have to make them up when I finally get caught up.
What time are you waking up then?
I sleep. Danish Makbul, a hilarious comedian
I know
from
he is,
Jersey.
yeah.
He and I were on the road one time, and I slept in, and he's like, "Yo, boy, I think today you needed the full 13, huh?" So he coined this phrase, the full 13.
You sleep like that long?
I can sleep for 13 hours.
That's good.
Sometimes, yeah. But sometimes I would say on average I end up sleeping for about 10 hours.
That's a lot of sleep, bro.
Oh, yeah. And I'm still exhausted. Yeah. I love sleep. You understand?
I do too,
I'm
but
working on a bit about how much I love sleep.
10 hours is too much, man.
Oh, my whole life has been too much sleep. Yeah. I slept my life away.
You can't
I
do
slept
that.
all my potential away. But the thing is, it averages out because what it is sometimes I will sleep for like 4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
Roughly 2 nights a week, I'll be up all night. The rest of the days, I'll fall asleep probably between 2 and 3. There'll be one night where it's just like I'm just out of gas. Now it shows I'm 50, bro. So over the last 6 to 12 months, I've started to do this more where I'll be one night a week. I'm just like 11:30. Like I'm gonna start winding this shit down.
You and I were both in Florida visiting our elderly parents, and what happens then when you have to like interact? Your life is interacted with. You're in the house with people that have normal hours. Does it fuck you up, or do you? Just
Oh my god, 100% of fuck.
Do you say?
I was going through a lot of personal stuff at the time, so I was being kind of selfish about my schedule. You know, I was just like dealing with my own stuff because I try to be respectful of them.
But they don't understand. Like,
they don't understand.
They're like, "What? We're gonna go get breakfast at 10 a.m." I'm like, "Good luck, have fun." Like, you're not gonna come. You're wasting your whole day. I'm like, "I'll call you when I go to bed, and then you can tell me how I'm."
Well, I had this conversation with my parents kind of recently where I was just like, "Listen," I told them what I just said to you, which is I'm done, kind of trying to pretend that. And by the way, it's crazy to me that I even have to have this conversation with them since I got this way because of their genes.
Right.
They are nocturnal people.
So are my parents.
So
too.
what are we even talking about?
It's not so much them, but like I have like nieces and nephews that I want to see.
Yeah, stand-up comedy is
all arts have this problem.
All arts have some version of this, yeah. If you're going to be a professional at monetizing your creativity, it's going to. I marvel at these people who live these extremely well-adjusted, like balanced lives between their work and their art and craft and their family and business. It's like, how are these people doing this?
They're full of shit. They're doing cocaine. They're getting injected with kids' bloods. Where can people find out about your upcoming stuff that you're doing?
Find me on social media or go to my website to sign up for the mailing list, which is all I really care about. az.tv.
az.tv.
So that's the website. That's also the name of the YouTube channel, AZ, and then you got to write out DOT. TV, which is terrible. That's so confusing for people.
That's for your website or for the YouTube?
Already I confused you. TV, so it's
not
two
that
T's.
hard.
No, but it's 2 T's.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's
people
dumb.
think it's terrible. This is F.
I thought you were in the fucking .com world. You should know better.
This is terrible. I'm thinking about changing.
I take back what I said about your academic smartness.
Thank you.
Azhar, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me on your podcast, bro. Why are you awake?
Thank you all for listening. Go to sleep.